Hi, welcome to Sneak Peek.
Tonight we've got hobos, robots, and vegetables.
May sound weird, but stick around to see what it's all about on Sneak Peek.
Entertainment the way you want it.
And welcome back. I'm your host, Christine Ramon.
And I'm Daniel Stoll. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Did you, Christine?
Yeah, I had a great Thanksgiving. It was good getting away from school and spending time with my family, plus coming back 5 pounds heavier from turkey. How about you?
Actually, my family and I had some good old Texas barbecue.
Barbecue? Where's your Pilgrim pride?
Hey, if the Pilgrims had tasted my grandpa's secret recipe barbecue, they would have left Plymouth Rock and followed me down to Texas.
If they followed you, they would have probably starved.
You don't know that. But speaking of starving, Melanie has a story on what it's like out there with the writer's strike.
So cold. I wish this writer's strike would end.
I know. I'm starving for some e-news. Yo, got any spare e-news? Some e-news?
James, do you remember the good old days when we had e-news every Thursday?
Oh, I remember the good old days. Imagine if it was like the good old days again.
If only.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older, then we wouldn't have to wait so long? And wouldn't it be nice to live together in the kind of world where we
Brendan Fraser has his hair back and is set to star in another Mummy movie, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Rachel Weisz has yet to sign a return.
Spider-Man the Musical's director, Julie Taymor, has announced who she wants for her leads. Now, you may remember her from plays such as The Lion King on Broadway or Across the Universe. Well, she wants her on-screen love couple from Across the Universe, Jim Sturgis and Evan Rachel Wood, to be her leads in Spider-Man. Now, I don't care who plays Spider-Man, as long as it's not Bono. And just in case you're wondering, Miss Taymor, I'm a tinner.
And Fast and the Furious 4 looks to be a family reunion with Jordana Brewster reprising her role as Mia, Vin Diesel's sister. Paul Walker will also return in this 4th installment as her ex-lover.
Yes, and finally, Russell Crowe is thought to be replacing Brad Pitt in State of Play, a film in which he will be pitted against Edward Norton as battling journalists. However, Crowe first has to pull off his role as Robin Hood in Ridley Scott's Nottingham. Back to you guys.
So did you see any good movies over the holiday?
No, I saw Beowulf instead. Did you?
Well, I just watched a bunch of old movies at home.
Well, speaking of old movies, James has tonight's guilty pleasure.
Oh, hello. A lot of people have been begging me to indulge them on what my guilty pleasure is, and I have 2 simple letters to say. AI. Steven Spielberg's Artificial Intelligence, the film released in 2001, was originally directed by Stanley Kubrick. However, he died before filming ever started, so old Stevie Spielberg took over the project as homage to his role model. The film itself is an underappreciated work of sci-fi art. In fact, AI is one of the only movies to ever make me think about what it might feel like to cry. The film is set in the not-so-distant future, where global warming has considerably affected the human population and caused a major rise in the sea level, turning many big cities into ruins. A couple named Henry and Monica Swinton are about to lose their son to a disease afflicting many young children, so they have him cryogenically frozen until they can find a cure. In the meantime, they adopt a mecha child named David, played by the young Haley Joel Osment. Monica eventually gets used to her robot son, until her real son is found curable. The couple's natural son becomes extremely jealous and nearly kills himself trying to frame David. Monica naturally releases David into the wild, telling him to stay clear of Fleshfest, places where mechas are killed in a gladiators meets car derby style. David is rescued from death by Gigolo Joe, a prostitute mecha on run from the law. Gigolo Joe is one of Jude Law's finest roles. The man makes a better robot than a human. David and Joe go on a quest to find the Blue Fairy, which ultimately leads to Gigolo Joe being arrested, and David falling into the depths of the ocean. A sad ending to a noble quest, until David is unearthed 1,000 years later by mechas that have evolved into aliens. This future race recreates David's home and brings back Monica, but only for a day. In David's perfect day, she admits that she had always loved him. If that doesn't make you feel like thinking about what it might feel like to cry, I don't know what would. Back to you guys.
I thought he was so sad. All he wanted from his mom was to love him.
I was kind of too busy being confused.
Well, speaking of confused, I never understood American Idol. The best person never wins on that show.
Well, you know, the second commandment says thou shalt not have idols, but America seems to spit one out every year. So let's go to Will to see which one really is the best.
Hello out there, Will Patterson here with TV Land's favorite source of knowledge, Trivia Time. This week, Jordan Sparks' self-titled debut item became the worst-selling American Idol debut. Which brings me to this question. Which debut album sold more in their first week, Jordan Sparks' or William Hung's Inspiration? The answer after these messages. Welcome back. And if you said the Mighty Ducks or just started quacking nonstop, then you are correct. And if anyone from Disney is watching this, I definitely want to be in D4 once y'all get around to it.
Oh, I love the Mighty Ducks. That's when Joshua Jackson was still cute.
Whoever thought a duck would make a good mascot, though?
All right, well, what do you think would be a good mascot?
How about the fighting Bermuda grass?
I don't get it.
Well, when was the last time you beat Bermuda grass?
I guess I never just kind of thought about that, but let's look at a trailer for Atonement.
Atonement. Everyone had a good
See, why don't you talk to Robin? I do. I just move in different circles, that's all.
Dear Cecilia, you'd be forgiven for thinking me mad. The truth is, I feel rather lightheaded and foolish in your presence, and I don't think I can blame the heat.
Righty.
Do you think you could do me a favor? Run ahead and give this to C.
Good heavens, you're blushing.
You won't call the police.
You saw him?
Yes, I saw him. I know it was him.
You know it was him?
I saw him with my own eyes. I love you. Come back to me.
They gave me a choice. Stay in prison or join the army.
My darling, I love you. I'll wait for you.
But no matter how hard I work, I can't escape from what I did and what it meant. The story, what's it about? A young girl who sees something which she doesn't understand, but she thinks she does.
I will return. I will find you.
I'm very, very sorry for the terrible distress that I've caused.
James McAvoy. Keira Knightley. Atonement.
You know, Christine, I really don't think you understood my point about the Bermuda grass being a great mascot.
Daniel, drop it. It's not going to happen.
But
No, buts. But continuing on the subject of plants and pirates, let's head over to Jessica with a story about the new Veggie Tale movie.
This winter, the pirates are back, but with a different kind of heroes. From the most successful vegetable movie, Jonah, comes the pirates who don't know anything.
This
This movie is about 3 animated veggie pals who sail to an adventure that will lead them to discover that real heroes don't have to be strong, tall, handsome, and in this case, even humans. These 3 unlikely veggies long for the day when they can finally quit their jobs as busboys at the Pieces of 8 dinner theater so that they can form part of a big pirate show. Elliot the timid, Sedgwick the lazy, and George the inconfident wish for the day in which they can show that they are not just miserable busboys. A ball happens to drop at their feet, and a strange artifact sends them back to the 17th century because a royal family needs their help from an evil tyrant. This movie continues to promote the values that Veggie Tales is known for, teaching children what it really means to be good people and what it means to be a hero. This film will be in theaters January 11th, 2008.
A bored gourd, a sour grape, and a cucumber who wants to be cool have been called to save a princess.
The heroes! They're here!
Does anyone know where the bathroom is?
I'm Eloise, Princess of Monteria. Pirates have taken my brother, Prince Alexander. With my father, the king, away in the west, it is imperative that we mount a rescue immediately.
Come again?
Now, in a world of ruthless pirates,
I've seen that on TV. You can cut a can with it and still slice a tomato.
where dragons roam,
Hey guys, there's Bubbles. I don't know about you, but I'm going to wet myself.
and snacks attack,
I want to go home.
3 vegetables will aspire to greatness.
I don't think that's possible. And that's coming from a guy who just swam 92 miles without arms or legs.
From the creators of Jonah, the most successful vegetable movie of all time,
How do you start this thing?
comes the pirates who don't do
We
anything.
landed on a beach. I was running from evil cheese. Something came up behind us. It was a rock monster.
That's something you don't see every day.
Get them!
Rock monster. Rock monster. These men hardly seem the heroic type.
Back home, they actually call us the pirates who don't do anything. How comforting.
The pirates who don't do anything.
It's a good song, don't you like it?
That was a little too young for me.
You know you're still a little kid, Daniel.
Am not. If I was a kid, I wouldn't listen to big kid bands like Yellowcard.
That doesn't really explain too much now, does it?
Yeah, well, I'm not the only one. Jenny went to a Blue October Yellowcard concert last week, and right now is part 1 with Yellowcard.
Thanks for having the interview with us. So what is your favorite part about being a world-famous rock band?
It's so funny. Traveling, probably. I mean,
Traveling? Where's your favorite place to travel around?
for the band, my favorite place is definitely Brazil, South America. We're like still really big down there. It's kind of fascinating, actually.
What about you?
I'm a big fan of playing in Japan. We have a really strong fan base there. They all look like me, so that's pretty cool. My mom was born there, so there's like a little bit of, a lot of culture. On the flip side, you wouldn't expect it. The food there is fantastic. They treat us like royalty, and it's an amazing culture shock. It's completely different than anything you would imagine. It's unbelievable, so we like going there.
So, Sean, everyone knows that Yellowcard, has a violinist. How do you actually get an electric violin? Are they specially made for you, or?
I play an electric violin by a company called Zeta, and they're a relatively small company. They're not giving me like, a new violin every tour, so I only have a couple.
Have you noticed like an increase in interest amongst your fans for playing the violin?
I have. There's so many people have been like, I just got an electric violin for Christmas or for my birthday or whatever, and you know, it's really awesome.
What were some of the odd jobs that y'all had before you were, you know, in the band Yellowcard? I read somewhere that both of y'all worked at a Chili's.
Yeah, we worked at many Chili's, actually.
Yes.
We transferred and jumped around.
You probably worked at 4.
I worked at 4.
And I worked at 3.
When we moved to California, we both served, and then I bartended, and I was approached to be a manager a few times.
At least you got a backup plan.
It would have worked out well. I mean, so much, I still retain so much of that knowledge, but it was really funny. He actually had a weirder job. He was selling herbal breast enhancements.
I ended up working at like one of those places you see the commercial late at night. It's like, you know, male enhancement or breast enhancement or whatever. Call 1-800 whatever for herbal products. And it was just me and a bunch of other like stoners in our town in California we lived in that would
LP worked there
work
too,
the
our
night
drummer.
shift. Yeah, we all worked there except for you, really. Yeah. For a while, the money was really good, man. It was like you made crazy commissions or whatever. I sat with a little headset on, but
You should have gone door to door. That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Selling albums too. If you get a month's subscription, I'll give you this record.
That's all we've got for tonight.
Thanks for tuning in and see you next week.